Oh, it's been a hot minute since I've talked about wonderful Tim Ballard. MAGA influencer Tim Ballard faces human trafficking lawsuit. Well, they keep forgetting that Kamala and Ashton were all in Chai together and they all came on together on a bipartisan sesta fasta. So with Trump, did you guys forget that? They had a lot in common here to target women. I mean, at least some people here are kind of following the whole story here, but it's not a huge group of people because they want to push us down. Oh, I have a lot to say, mostly on, if you haven't seen my Insta. Oh, I'm saying a lot on there because I just don't have time to keep doing all these videos, dude, and editing and doing all this stuff. So, and they do things so it doesn't get seen. So, yeah, we have a lot of people helping out. We have a lot of organized crime. Yeah, a lot of groups. In fact, the Diddy thing would not be limited to a certain gang of people. And I was trying to let other people know that because they may not know that. They probably don't know that, but they may suspect. I don't know. But I'm just letting them know. Letting them know. It puts me in a weird position, but I have to go into the history of my track record of filing things and what the Dems and other people have done. They're all guilty. I'm just like, I'm not going to vote for the Dems if they're going to be saying they're promoting to do crimes to me and send organized criminals and mobsters on me and trying to ignore the fact that that is a major problem. Major problem. Oh, and I pointed out the Asian gangs. Yeah. Okay. One thing before we get into this. They are not coming up from poverty. They come straight out of Beverly Hills. And to sit here and tell us that the rich areas are safe, they already know that they're not. They had it even in an early write-up in 2004, which they lied their asses off. And then they called victims of human trafficking a bunch of prosties and called it a brothel. That's why I said when I went to go report in 2001, the term wasn't used, but everything that I was outlining was human trafficking, basically. There was a lot in it. And they were made well aware that the officers were involved in gang activity and that they needed to protect me, and it was very dangerous. So for the reasons of that is why they filed it the way that they did. They did it to F me over. That's number one. Number two, there was some kind of leak. So again, I confronted them. And then I gave information to the human trafficking hotline later on the same topic. Because I got screwed over by the county here. And they covered it up as well. Facts are facts. I mean, you could argue whatever you want, but in reality, this is what's going on. None of these people are for you, and I don't know why you think they are. Because there's nothing to show for it. Okay, so Ballard, the model for controversial anti-sex trafficking film Sound of Freedom, has been accused of human trafficking by several women in a federal lawsuit. Yeah. MAGA influencer Tim Ballard, the self-styled anti-sex trafficking activist who faced multiple allegations of sexual abuse, has been hit with a federal lawsuit accusing him of human trafficking. I told you these guys, they come out, they're like, whoa, we're anti this, and then they really did it. I try to be as real as possible here. Like, I'm trying to... Okay, here's number one. If you have a person that's going after one group of people and saying it's only these group of people, know that they're guilty of sin. And they don't know what the F they're talking about. They're guilty of sin. If you know what the issue is, you would know that there's no political side on this. It's just everybody. So that's clue number one. QAnon was so interesting because I said it's a political plot to steer off the truth to bullshit. It's like it'll lay out like this is actually real. Like government is totally involved. They totally are, okay? But it's not at a pizza parlor and Hillary's not, pimping out some kids in a pizza parlor, okay? It could be happening somewhere, but, So they'll take this truth to lead you in and then all of a sudden steer it for a political purpose. That's what they're doing. They're manipulating you, and nobody should manipulate this topic on either party. Otherwise, it's political and you're being used as a puppet. It is a problem across the globe. They just did another write-up on the World War II. Was it II? Yeah, in 1940s. With the rapes thing in there too. And they're blaming conservatives. But the general population, if you go pull out your Bible, that action is in the Bible. Rape. So when they raped in war, they would give children to the people that won the war, right? They give them children and to rape them and do whatever with. So that's in your Bible. So that conduct goes way back and even before the Bible. So they're just writing at a period of time. So pre the Bible, that's going on. It probably goes back way further than that. But yeah, so they're starting to confront it now. We actually had some deniers up in here. I ran one story on the French, the war there where they raped the women and stuff. And I don't know, we had some deniers. That was interesting. Wasn't expecting that. I was like, isn't that common knowledge that the army raped all the women wherever they took over? American army? Yeah. I don't know. But apparently we got rape deniers. Like deniers, just army rape, military rape deniers. Ballard, a far-right conspiracy theorist, was inspired for the last year's QAnon adjacent film Sound of Freedom, a fictionalized version of this group's purported anti-sex trafficking activities. It has helped transform him into a MAGA hero, a fraud. And Trump said at a 2023 rally that the film has inspired some of his policy proposals. Oh, so it's all fake. It's just we'll make shit up and do what Kamala did too, right? Kamala did some similar things. So they're basically the same evil, you guys. You're not paying attention is the problem, I think, going on here. Amid allegations that he coerced several women to act as his wives. Now, anytime I've ever had to have a guy act as my husband, well, they didn't act as my husband. They act as my boyfriend as a beard because of male supremacy. And there was some gang activity, mobster activity. We're trying to get out of. Hey, there was a whole thing here, which I can actually refer to. And there's a long history that I could back my statements and why and what was the purpose and what was happening. So, men performed sex acts with him. Ballard resigned last September from the Utah-based organization he founded, Operation Underground Railroad. Ballard went on to work with a separate anti-sex trafficking organization. Several workers sued Ballard for sexual misconduct last year, and he has vehemently denied the claims. Some of the suits have been since dismissed, but others remain. I don't know why they're dismissed. Like, it's just probably because of the way the laws are written. I don't know. When I was going through it, it's not that it didn't happen, but we have lawyers saying things didn't happen, and I'm thinking that they're spreading around false information. Just because somebody didn't get convicted of something doesn't mean it didn't happen. And I'm questioning, should they even be allowed to say that? Because it's just not true. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's just they were not convicted of it due to them not watching a rape physically. So they're spreading around false information, and it's actually skewing the public perception. And that's another area that they need to start slapping down on. It's just the statement. It never happened. It's like, okay, first of all, it's an attorney who was not even at the crime scene, and it's just they say this stuff, and it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Okay, so the DA's office told the New York Times in September it was aware of pending criminal investigations into Ballard, but no charges have been filed to date. Ballard filed defamation suits against 7 of his accusers earlier this month. 7! He's trying to go after 7 accusers. Now 6 of them have filed another lawsuit accusing Ballard of human trafficking. That's awesome. What I mean, what a jerk this guy is. Like, you're gonna literally sit here and say all these 7 women are lying, so I'm gonna go get them all. And then he's supposed to be this big anti-human trafficker guy, and then he's doing all this stuff, and he's gonna go after you. He's such an ego, his ego. So this is why he did all this crap. In the lawsuit, the plaintiffs claim Ballard used a deceptive tactic known as the couple's ruse, pitched to them as a way to catch potential sex traffickers to sexually exploit them. But isn't that like all these guys? They have lured and trapped, lured and trapped, lured and trapped. Isn't that how they figure that that's how they get women anyway? Lure and trap, you know? It's like, oh, I know you guys are really serious about this topic. This is the best way to get some women up in here with me. Yeah. Under the guise of philanthropic mission or operations aimed at rescuing women and children from human trafficking, Ballard used his position of influence and trust to exploit the vulnerable individuals. Ballard specifically targeted women for sex, labor, and other services in violation of federal anti-trafficking laws. The suit defines the couple's ruse as a deceptive strategy in which female operatives were required to simulate intimate relationships with Ballard to purportedly fool traffickers. Well, what is this bullshit that government's been doing where they sexually harass women to see if they're sex workers? Can anybody tell me about that one? Hey, would you be willing to have sex with me for, $20? What's that? Yeah, that's kind of an old history of, law enforcement here. They've been doing all kinds of stuff. They've been sexually harassing women the whole time and trying to proposition us. So I could be trying to rent a room, and here they are online trying to seek out if there's some like sex worker. I got a room for rent. Will you rent it? We can do an exchange if you give me a what. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm certain that's government sting. That's LAPD. And then, so it means that they're sexually harassing me and propositioning me for illegal conduct for a room rental. And to see if I'll bite. That's disgusting, you guys. I had so many of those, it's not even funny. The plaintiff alleged Ballard boosted his legitimacy in the eyes by introducing them to powerful social and political figures such as Utah Rep. Progress Owens. Oh, yeehaw. These are all the people you want to meet, huh? And right-wing commentator Glenn Beck. Can you imagine using someone to go, or, being so, like, into this guy because you get to meet Glenn Beck? You know what I mean? You guys are embarrassing. But anyway, I don't know. But yeah, okay, commentator Glenn Beck, one of the worst of it here. But the Ballard, that Ballard abused their trust to coerce them into sex acts. The suit continues. As he gained confidence, he claimed that that posing as a romantic couple, including engaging in sexual touching and sex acts, was essential to avoid suspicion from traffickers, whom Ballard portrayed as omnipotent. And however, it became clear that the couple's ruse was simply a false pretense for Ballard to groom, manipulate, and sexually assault the women participating in the operation. Government be going on like this the whole time. The suit that he was with the CIA. He was with who was it? Homeland or something. Yes, you guys, that's them. That's like literally them. This is what happens when women aren't in the room, and the only women that they hire are the ones that go, yeah, I'm going along with it. Seems totally fine, sir. Okay, the suit alleges a pattern of disturbing behavior, claiming that Ballard would talk to the women about his wife's unwillingness to perform certain sex acts with him due to her religious beliefs. Screw these Mormons, man. And then, like, they go along with their damn thing, and they're like, damn religion, And they did this. Oh, they absolutely did this in the ring when the guys were coming in. They would do this whole thing and go, oh, you want to see a picture of my wife and kids? And they would pull out their wallet and they'd show me their family. And then you would think that it would make them not try anything, right? Because it's like you're looking at your family right here in your face. And then the next thing you know, they're trying to rape you. And it's like, what in the hell is this crap? Yes, you guys. And so somehow he's like turned on bringing his wife up and then degrading her. And then he's trying to get up on somebody else. These guys are all bad news. Anybody even talking like this, you should know is not on the side of anti-trafficking, anti-anything. They don't like women. Your religious beliefs there, you Mormon woman. And that he claimed that, these conversations were necessary to improving the couple's ruse. That is? I gotta degrade my wife so I could really get into it with you, okay? The suit accuses Ballard of coercing the women into sexual encounters by pressuring them to practice physical intimacy. It also alleges Ballard manipulated them by pitting them against one another. Okay, men have been doing this the entire time. We call this a pin. We just call it a pin because that's just exactly what it is. And he's a socio. So they get us women, like they're doing it right now. They're absolutely doing it right now. Like where they're going, women, because you didn't vote for Kamala, you're anti-woman and you're a misogynist rapist. Okay, now they're just doing a pin because Kamala is a major problem and actually agreed with a lot of this conduct up in here. And they all agreed. I mean, we could pull it up, even Bernie Sanders. And they all agreed with Trump and everybody to go target women and do all this crap. And then they just helped organize crime. And I'm just like, if you're this stupid, let me just put it this way. If you're this stupid, you shouldn't be in politics. Because their job is to make sure that nothing like that happens. And so I'm not going to vote for a party that okays all that stuff. The suit alleges texts between Ballard and some of the accusers appeared to blur the lines between anti-trafficking work and a private sexual relationship. The suit also includes an audio clip of Ballard's lawyer telling a judge that Ballard's sperm was on an accuser's skirt because he masturbated into it. A spokesperson for Operation Underground Railroad, which is named as a co-defendant in the lawsuit, told Fox 13 that the new accusations are recycled claims that have been dismissed repeatedly. We are confident they will be dismissed again. Ballard's lawyer echoed that response, saying his accusers have engaged in desperate forum shopping to rehash the same allegations, which one judge after another has called inconsistent and unsupported by facts. As this all plays out, let us not ignore how bad this looks for MAGA movement, which has made a habit of baselessly accusing liberals of being groomers and sex traffickers. One of the biggest peddlers of conspiracy theories about human trafficking has been accused of human trafficking. Actually, being a groomer isn't just a liberal thing. I mean, but if you're going to call people groomers, you cannot call just a single group of groomers. Because if you go back to your religions, and that would include Mormons, there's a lot of grooming in those religions. So do we want to start pulling out the doctrine? We can start pulling out the doctrine. Oh, we educate the little girls, us men are going to educate these little girls. They have to come to us for education. Well, that's a form of grooming. So they're grooming them into an ideology. They're grooming them into being the perfect sex toy for men, basically, in all these religions. So, but again, if you're going to call people groomers, which I would say a lot of them are, you can't call a single group. It makes it where everything just, you're the good guy. You're not the good guy. Everybody's foul. And is there a lot of sex traffickers out here? Yes, it's called America. When they legalized, marriage and raping your wives. But did they pump out some conspiracy theories about it? Yes, like what is the bullshit where they're like Oprah this and Tom Hanks that? I don't know. They came up with some doozies.
There was only one thing in that QAnon thing. They pulled up another guy. And this other guy, I never wanted to share it because, I mean, not yet. I need backing if I'm going to share it because I'm not the eyewitness. And so if I put it out, it's still just going to be an alleged. But I don't even want to add to the story unless there's other people that can verify it. But yes, I remember years ago in the human trafficking ring, in one of the human trafficking rings, somebody's name was popped up at the time period. So we're talking about the 1990s. And everybody kept saying, this person keeps coming in. And I'm like, oh, whatever, because all these other guys were coming in. And then during this thing, they started bringing him up over and over again. And I plumb forgot about it. And I was talking to some victims and it was brought up again. And it took me a hot minute. And I go, oh my God, I actually remember this. I remember this and I forgot about it. Yes, but I don't know if they were actually there. My question to it was, is it a guy that just looks like him and that everybody just assumed it was him? Like that could be going on too. There was a lot of people that they came in and they looked like other people and it may not be them. But there was some people and there were celebrities. And who was shopping there was record labels and a bunch of other people. And so, yes, their name was one of the people that they kept bringing up was mentioned. I'm going to say that much, but I don't want to add to the bullshit right now. But if they do get an allegation, I might bring it. It depends. If it's relevant to any of that universe in some which way, shape, or form, then I will. I'll bring up the alleged. But again, I was not an eyewitness to it. I just kept getting told it. At the time period, in the 90s. Not today. It wasn't something that happened today. It was so funny. We're having these conversations. I go, does anybody remember, like, this or that or the other? Did anybody have any ties with, Biggie or any of these people? I was asking people because our job was like nearby and I kept getting targeted by the same cops, I guess. And I was like, I know I don't know them. It was just this thing. And I'm like, well, what about my friends here? Because some of my friends may be. And some of them allege that they know some of those people, or they knew. I'm not like it would be the surrounding camp of those people, I guess, or friends of theirs, or friends of theirs. But it wouldn't have anything to do with me. So there wasn't anything significant in it, other than the story that I said. I go, oh yeah, we have a connection through this other thing, but they're not the ones that, to my knowledge, have to my knowledge at this moment, they don't have ties to the corrupt cop portion, even though they brought up that Rampart thing. In this one area, because I know the personal feelings of people that they are, to my knowledge at this minute, they're not connected. It's a rival. And we're trying to figure out the rival. The rival could be anybody. The Russian mafia was very big in the area at the time, which I didn't actually know that. And they don't talk about them much, actually. It's kind of weird. They're pretty gnarly, dude. I don't really want to talk about them either. I don't have anything to say about them because I don't have a personal interaction other than the people that were dealing with this group of people. But to say they're part of that, I can't answer that. And I'm not withholding anything. If I actually knew that, I would say at this point in time. But, yeah, they're pretty dangerous. Could they be the rival in it? Well, I was looking at it because I was like, well, if that's the case, then we're in deep shit there. Because what that would mean is they infiltrated a group of people in through LAPD, and that's very concerning. That's what we're trying to figure out. Because when the Justice Department asked, why do you think they're doing that? I was like, aren't you supposed to do the investigations? That's not me. How do I know? I'm supposed to know, like, why mobsters are doing, XYZ. You think I'm one? No, they're trying to kind of rid of me. No. So, no, I can't answer that stuff. I'm actually not the go-to for those type of topics. I'm just saying that everybody needs to be far more educated on these groups of people. Much more. Much more. Because of the racism, they have done a big focus on, these down and out, people of color in certain areas and these gangs. I'm like, dude, there's like a bazillion other things going on out here? Like a bazillion. And there's so many subgroups and fractions that I'm like, I cannot answer. I can't tell you a name. I don't know. I know it's a different, it's not the same group of people. It can't be. It can't be. Like, I never saw them fist bump. Like, this is not happening. I was like, it's not. They were trying to take out the guy. If they're trying to take out the guy, why are they going to sit there and turn around and then cover for them? It just doesn't, that doesn't come together, right? But we're sitting over here trying to figure out, well, who's this other group of people? I can't answer it. It was just like with the sheriffs. I couldn't tell you the name of their gang. But I knew they had a gang. Like, I knew they had a gang. But, yeah, I mean, I'm forthcoming in that stuff today because they leaked. I mean, they did so much stuff. It's like, they tried a lot of stuff here. My thing is that if that is going on, here's the thing. It's the hypothetical. If it's that other thing, you got some major problems. And the one thing with those guys, it says they team up with the Sicilian mafia. They'll team up with anybody as long as, they get their end goal. And I go, yeah. Some of the things I did see was other groups, not that group, but other groups of them in a same room together. And I was like, yeah, that's not, you don't want to see that kind of thing because but that's been going on forever, you guys. And the fact that they just let it happen makes it far worse today than if they tackled it like, when it was starting to, happen like that. And that's been decades, you guys. The more money and power that they get, the harder it is to tackle that. Because they get themselves in positions of power to make sure that no one goes at them. It's a whole thing with that, and that's basically what we saw. We saw a whole bunch of mobsters start up like businesses, and now they make $20 million a year. I'm like, good luck, you guys. That was smart. That was stupid, everyone. The ignorance ain't bliss. But there's other people that actually know, and they're part of it, and they are basically living the high life now. So why would they want to go after themselves? They're not. They're going to go after me.